Welcome, everybody, back to Around the Bloxxx with Mike Knoxxx, and I am your host, Mike Knoxxx. And indeed, I spelled my name with 3 X's because, frankly, like that whore that you dated, I am hardcore, people. Welcome to my WWE SummerSlam review, and people, I thought top to bottom an overall good pay-per-view. I am excited. I am happy with the outcomes of tonight's event. I mean, what more could you have asked for? You wanted the belt off of Brock Lesnar? You got that. You wanted Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman to be added? Well, you kind of got that. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. Ronda Rousey wins the title. Charlotte Flair wins the title. AJ goes hardcore. No pun intended. Just an overall decent show, people. I almost get a phone number out and said 347-637-3859, but I don't do that here. But I tell you this much, guys. SummerSlam was a good pay-per-view. Say what you want to say about it. Do what you must do about it. But tell you one thing that you cannot tell me, and that what we just seen for 4 hours was not entertaining, people. Finally, Roman Reigns has got the beast off of his back. Now, not just the beast in Brock Lesnar, but the beast of the fans. WWE's booking going into this pay-per-view, going into this main event that no one, the likes of you, wanted to watch, but you were invested. They got to invest it. They finally was able to do to Roman what they could not do for Roman for the past 4 years, and that was to get you to cheer for Roman. Okay? He wins. See, it's like when Roman just won now, that's why it was worth it. The reaction that he got, how he responded to the win. It's like when you see Sasha Banks, every big win for Sasha Banks, she's crying. She's doing this. Roman doesn't do that because Roman, for what it's worth, I think I saw this from my man Derek Lewis on Twitter last week, and he said anybody else with the booking Roman would have got, you guys would say was buried. This man has been in the main event picture, excuse me, if you will, so to speak, time after time after time, but not ever winning. He finally won. And I'm sorry, guys, whether you like Roman or you don't like Roman, he's pretty damn good. Brock Lesnar, pretty damn good. So does the Monster Among Men, who we thought we were going to see tonight in an impromptu title match, Brock Lesnar decided, as Stone Cold would say, not in my house. No. Later that year, Michael did get Dikembe. Will Braun Strowman later this year get Roman Reigns? Or does he go after Brock first? Is Brock done with the WWE? A lot of questions about tonight's SummerSlam shall be answered in the weeks to come. But overall, guys, I mean, like I said, from top to bottom to top, now we here. I thought it was a very good SummerSlam. Well, I mean, yeah, you had to throw in the return of the demon to go ahead and have some time pass. Hey, I was okay with seeing Finn Balor come back tonight. The Thanos boots that everybody talked about, the Thanos outfit that Seth Rollins wore tonight, great outfit. I mean, just all in all, weekend was phenomenal. NXT TakeOver 4 to me, and you guys know how early on, years before, a lot of fans, but you don't know how I was a big NXT fan, and I kind of stepped out of the water, if you will. But last night's NXT TakeOver 4 to me, top to bottom, one of the best I've seen in quite some time. Love that TakeOver. Ciampa and Gargano. It's just sad to me that that's something we will never see on the main event roster. I can see Vince right now saying that won't sell. Okay, the violence that those guys put off in the ring between those two, to me, rival the likes of Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, best friends turned bitter enemies, if you will, so to speak. And I looked at that match and I was like, wow, Velveteen Dreams, call me up, Vince. It was all a dream, and Velveteen Dream finally getting his win. And then the internet's most overrated wrestler of all time. How could he beat Adam Cole, baby? Come on, man. Ricochet, I'm not on Ricochet right now. Pause. I'm just saying. A lot of fans are Ricochet guys. I'm personally, I'm not one of them. I'm not a big Ricochet guy. So I was not happy that Adam Cole lost that match. But then the match that opened up the night between the Undisputed Era and Dunn and those guys, Pete Dunne, what a tag team match. All in all, outside of the Sailor Moon, that's what I call her, winning the NXT Women's Championship, I thought NXT was flawless last night. Now, coming into SummerSlam tonight, honestly, I thought SummerSlam was pretty flawless. They had one big mistake in the entire night, and that was the booking that made no sense about the Bludgeon Brothers. Here go a tag team that has been completely annihilating its competition. And I'm okay with them not annihilating the New Day. The New Day shouldn't be annihilated. I'm okay with that. But what I was not okay with is that when they backs were to the wall, the only way you could think about them winning was to grab the Thor hammer, as my kids would say. That part I did not get. That's not in their character that you have built. That's not in their storyline and what you have shown, because wrestling, again, #is storyline, made no sense whatsoever. I did, however, want to see Dean Ambrose turn. I got to see a bigger picture out of this Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre story. They came together. They say, we're tired of the way things have gone and we're going to change things around here. Well, if you put the Shield, so to speak, two-thirds of the Shield back together, things aren't changing. Okay, that's where we thought we were heading towards last year's SummerSlam before injuries took place and took Dean Ambrose out and took Jason Jordan out. So to me, bringing them back, okay, put him in a corner, that should have happened. But nevertheless, that match, number 3 on the night, honestly, when you saw it, it was great. But then I thought about it more. Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. Oh, wow, the story that was told in that match that will move on and will move forward. The story that was told in the Miz versus Daniel Bryan match. I mean, 8-10 years in the making. We're not done. Not by a long shot. And that storyline cannot wait. Overall, I'm sorry. I was ecstatic about SummerSlam. It was pretty freaking good to me. Josh Brown says, overall, a good show. Too many squash matches, though. Too many squash matches. What do you call a squash match? Ronda versus Alexa squash? Okay. I can see that. What else was a squash match? Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens? Yeah, that was completely a squash match. Other than that, I don't recall any squash matches. Am I wrong? Just type it down below. Let me remind me, because I don't remember being on the squash matches there. WWE won't be good until R-Truth is the WWE champion. Well, Ron the Truth Killings would be a great champion, but we're not putting a black man on television with the last name Killings. That won't happen. Joe versus Styles, Miz versus Bryan were great storytelling. Again, that's the beauty of professional wrestling. How great can you tell the story? And the story was told great between those two guys. Make sure you go to #UseYourHead, #UseYourHead is where you have to go for the chairshot.com. Also, Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and Hope World, Virginia, Fox Sports Radio 1340 AM. We'll be back tomorrow. Solving Sports is back. We're going to break down SummerSlam. We're going to break down the boxing. We're going to break down the NBA action. A lot of things taking place. What's the fallout of SummerSlam? Also, my man Michael Smith chimes in. Great pay-per-view overall. Opening match of NXT was the best match of the night. Shame that Bobby Lashley wasn't on the card, let alone seeing him at all. Listen, I'm not over on Bobby Lashley. I think I've never, for years, and I'm just frankly being honest here, guys. For years, I thought the WWE dropped the ball on Bobby Lashley a long time ago, because you look at him, his background, you look at his body type, you look at the destruction, the realism of what he brings, and they dropped the ball on me. They put all their eggs in a batch, which was Brock Lesnar, which is, hey, it's cool. It's the Aryan thing going on. Hey, it's what it is, right? But then you sit here and you got Bobby Lashley, who's actually a veteran United States veteran of our great service out there. He should have been over a long time ago, the same way Brock was, but they don't do that. So then he goes off to TNA, and I know a lot of you fans liked what he did in TNA. Frankly, Bobby Lashley has never pushed the needle for me. So when it comes to Bobby Lashley, for me personally, the ball was dropped a long time ago, and seeing him in this night would have done what for Bobby Lashley or the guy he went against. That's just me. Mike Jackson says, K, quick for champion. K, quick for champion. My man Epps chimes in. What's going on, Epps? Long time no see. Not feeling two major title matches having disqualification finishes. Second biggest show of the year. Everybody worked hard tonight, though. The tag team title, you're talking about disqualification for that, and then the world title. Well, see, the tag team title on SmackDown, that's okay. Again, I didn't like any of that. I agree with you on that. And if it was going to be disqualification, maybe not in that matter of stopping the 3 count. How about more the destruction of what they've done? They putting them through tables, something of that manner. We maybe could have accepted that more. But with Joe and AJ ending that way, it's different. It's a completely different way of ending that with a disqualification match there, Epps, because the way the story told itself. Here you are. I'm a man. I'm a married man, okay? If some dude, okay, some prick wants to just sit there and start saying, hey, baby girl, I'm your daddy now, I'm going to snap and lose my shit too. So to me, that was the realism of that storyline that those two can bring with their history from TNA, with their history from Ring of Honor, and bringing that into the WWE audience and universe that most people have not seen. Now, I've seen them on other levels, and so and again, a long time ago, thanks to friend of the program, Mr. Lopez, I do not compare organizations to one another until it's heavily thrown in my face. Okay, then I feel the need from from listeners and guys alike to speak my mind about that. But other than that, that match ended the way, in my opinion, it should have been. Rodney chiming in one part of the Belt Kings there says the championships in the WWE mean absolutely nothing to them nowadays. That's why people have the belt 60 times and the finishers you just talked about outside of AJ and The Miz retaining the belts. Okay, and to that statement, Rodney, I will agree to a certain extent about the titles not meaning anymore. And I think my man Dice Man was just saying there about, wow, what's that? Charlotte's 7th time being the champion. She's been called up now for what, 3-4 years? If somebody can get that quite right in there. And how long Charlotte has been up and how many times she's been champion, how many times Alexa Bliss has been champion. Okay, I get that, honestly, when it comes to the women. But it's the women's championship. It's not many to go around. You got to spread the wealth, and I think they're okay with that. I accept that from the women's division. Now, when it comes to the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title, I still take that differently because that title, for what it's worth, has always been hot-sided around. Some would have it longer. The Intercontinental title would be the main focus between 2 or 3 guys going back and forth, fighting for like a tug of war. I still see that. Now, when it comes to the world title and the U.S., I'm sorry, European. I almost say European, but this Universal Championship, they stayed on. Look at Brock Lesnar had it for 500-something days. AJ Styles almost at a year. So they don't hot shot those 2 titles. So I'm okay with that. And I think sometimes we read too much into that thing and not look at the history, not look at how wrestling has always done certain things. Like people say, oh, I'm so tired of seeing those guys go at it. Listen, I'm 43 years old. Thank you. Knocking on wood. I won't put to make it past 25. Joke's on you, Chicago. I'm still alive. I will say this over and over again. I've seen Flair, Steamboat. I've seen Flair, Dusty. I've seen Hogan. I said his name. Damn it. Macho Man. List goes on and on and on. I can name tons and tons of people. I've seen Rock Austin hundreds, 50, 60, 80 times, and no one complained back then. Was it different back then? Yes, in the storyline and how it may have meant to you as well as myself. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think when it comes to the 2 major titles, they don't hotshot those. They do, however, the other ones to me, especially in the Intercontinental U.S. title, have always done those things. In the Women's Championship, hey, that has been hotshotted maybe too many times, and I'm okay with that. And speaking of women, before we get out of here, Mella is still money. You may not like Carmella in that squared circle, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that. She is not the greatest in-ring performer. But where a lot of women lack charisma, a lot of women lack the ability to entertain the crowd and stay a main focus, like Naomi, for instance, who's great in the squared circle but kind of lacks certain other things in the ring. Mella is money in that reference. Even Bailey, even Sasha Banks can learn some things from Carmella. She is actually really, really good. My man Tyrone Cleveland chiming in as well. At least the title will actually be on TV now. That good to be, or hold on, say now that could be good or bad, but we will see. Yeah, I'm okay with the title. Again, I've never complained about the title not being on TV. I understood all you guys' gripes. I get you. At least once a month, Brock, show the fuck up. Show up once a month, Brock, okay? And I get that 100%. I'm on board with you on that one. But I'm also a believer of Brock's big deal, guys. We can love him or hate him. When Brock's there, it's a big deal. So, you know, whatever. Michael Smith, Becky Lynch heel turn was worth seeing. Was it really a heel turn? Was it a heel turn? It was, to me, it was worse watching Charlotte Flair cry about it. That's the part I didn't understand. Be mad about it. I'll sit there. What are you crying for? You're Charlotte Flair. You're the dirtiest woman in the game. You know the things you said to your father that, to me, put you over the hump of any other any other woman's competitor? When you cut that promo on Rick, like, you're my dad, you wasn't even here for me. That's what made Charlotte Charlotte. Now she's crying because Becky Lynch, Xena Warrior Princess Lynch, came out and say, look, enough is enough. You first of all, you interceded in my damn match. I would have had the title, and now you're doing this. Excuse me, guys. I live in Florida now, and these damn bugs around this place be getting on my get off my damn wall. All right, freaking Florida bug. I ain't trying to get bit by you motherfuckers no more. But overall, also, Mr. Lopez, wow, brought your name up here in the chat. The pay-per-view was great, but the Miz Daniel Bryan seemed plain and not exciting. Whoa, brother, you are on an island like Gilligan, all alone. That match probably it won't be match of the night. For me, it was match of the night because it had a definitive finish to that match. If not for AJ and them having the disqualification, although I like the story in that line, that would have been match of the night. But Daniel Bryan and Miz got it on like neck bones, got it on like popcorn, got it on like my wife coming out the shower butt ass naked. It's going down, kind of got it on, guys. I'm sorry. That match and the stories of that match is elevated. That was what SummerSlam was about. Just what I got at WrestleMania, like I had guessed it up there. Man, like I said, who rigged Elias's guitar? Listen, until they do something with Elias, I mean, I can't even focus on what he did tonight at SummerSlam, to be honest, Mike. I just can't right now. It was a spot to pass time, and it did that. Miz and Bryan almost matching tonight. Thank you, Josh. I'm sorry, Lopez. If you go to social media all over, which I am too, by the way, if you're on Twitter at Mike Knoxxx with 3 X's, okay, on Instagram, Mike Knoxxx with 3 X's, Soul in Sports, SOUL, capital letter N Sports, and 1340 AM Fox Sports as well. And don't forget the chair shot. # use your head. Okay, guys, SummerSlam. What did you think now? I don't do the 5-star crap. I do belts, as I am a belt king my damn self. I'm going to give SummerSlam 4.5. And again, this is only because of the Bludgeon Brothers match I did not like. This is also because it was something else I didn't like in the night. Oh, the U.S. title we didn't talk about. Okay, Randy Orton, the whole thing. Why was Randy Orton even coming out there? I will focus on that as well, why it gets a half a star, not a full 5. I'm being honest. Brock Lesnar, undisputed titles. Can you guys see that at the top of my thing? See if I can move this camera up there. See that right there? Yeah, right there. Get that right there. Look at that belt right there. That undisputed title right above my head. Brock Lesnar, 4.5 titles was SummerSlam. I'm sorry, guys. There's certain things that I get hyped about every single year, and that's WrestleMania, that's SummerSlam, that is the Royal Rumble. Okay, and it used to be Survivor Series, but Survivor Series has kind of fallen off a bit. But those 3 still get me. It still gets me. It's still the tradition like no other for me when it comes to wrestling. Those 3 things. No matter what the community say, no matter what people are typing in, I enjoy wrestling for it to be what it is. Yes, and I will continue to say this and put this disclaimer in there. No, it's not the 90s. No, it's not the Ruthless Aggression era. No, it's not the Attitude era. But it's not as bad as people think it is. And I am smart enough, guys. Okay, and I believe you are. I just believe you have so much love for what it was that you just can't see past how you're ruining it for yourself. Is that when I watch wrestling, it's what it is. Some people didn't like certain match endings. Sometimes I don't like them either. But it's not enough for me to be like, oh, that's trash, or that's not this, or oh, boo, forget that out of here. No, Ronda Rousey in that outfit with no titties, come on, that was bad for me. But I'm not gonna rip the match because she ain't got no bra. I mean, because she ain't got no chest. When you're looking at Charlotte, her chest might be too big when she's doing that split. My little girl saying, I want to do a split like that. I'm looking at her like, no, you don't. Not like that, you know. Okay, as a father. But overall, come on, guys. Like, Seth was involved in a great match. Josh, I agree with you on that one. Again, my thoughts for Seth Rollins is way different than most people. I think Seth Rollins is if not one of the best guys in the world in the business, as well as Dolph Ziggler. But that's just me. I've been a Dolph Ziggler fan since day one. I think Dolph is in all aspects of what he does. He's stepping up his mic skills more. But in that ring, inside the squared circle, he is one of the best to me of all time. Of all time. I'm not talking about overall character. I'm not talking about overall as a wrestler. I'm not talking about one of my favorites of all time. I'm talking about in the ring of what you say you love, right? Wrestlers who don't really grasp WWE no more because it refuses to change the narrative. It refuses to move into the time that, you know, brought them to the dance, right? It's staying commercialized, right? So for you hardcore fans that love wrestling for what they do when they're wrestling, to not respect what Dolph does in the ring, I think it's horrible. And I think it's horrible when they go, oh, he's Jericho, he's Shawn Michaels. Everybody's somebody. Ric Flair was Buddy Rogers. Nobody complained about that. Everybody is somebody, and Dolph Ziggler is a somebody. Shout out to Natty showing up tonight, Mike Jackson. You're absolutely right about that one. Showing big ups right there. And I'll tell you another thing. I thought that could have been a heel turn right there for Natty, because that's what we thought was going to happen all along anyway. It'd have been great this year to do that and give a great laugh like her father afterwards as a tribute. I'd have liked to have seen that, but we knew Ronda winning was going to happen. We hoped Roman winning was going to happen. Now, where do we go from this, guys? Cannot wait to talk to you guys about this tomorrow. Fox Sports Radio 347-637-3859. Checking us out at 5:30. And again, the website, thechairshot.com. Hashtag use your head. I'm out of here, y'all. 4.5 Brock Lesnar undisputed titles is my SummerSlam review. What about yours?